Final part. My manager screamed at me for serving a hungry child who couldn't pay. I thought I was about to lose everything. Until a billionaire walked in, asked for the person who helped his daughter, and handed me the keys to my future. My daughter is Emily, he continued. After her mother's accident, she developed selective mutism. Therapists, specialists, medications, nothing helped. Then yesterday, she handed her tutor a note about a kind waitress. He reached into his jacket and produced a folded paper. I recognized it immediately as the note I'd found under the milk glass the day before. In large, uneven handwriting. You're the only one who talks to me without being scared. I like the milk every morning. Thank you. E. This is the first time she's reached out to anyone, Nathan said, his composure cracking slightly. I had to find out who you were. Rick stepped forward, his demeanor completely transformed. Mr. Fraser, I can assure you our establishment always welcomes your daughter. In fact, I personally instructed Miss Sullivan to take special care of her. Nathan's gaze hardened as he turned to Rick. Really? Because my security team reviewed your establishment before I entered. They overheard quite a different story from your staff. Rick paled visibly. Behind him, Danny had stopped filming and was slowly backing toward the kitchen. Where is Emily today? I asked, concern overriding my awe. At home with a cold, Nathan answered. She was upset about missing her breakfast here. He turned back to Rick, his tone measured but firm. I don't need your apologies. What I need are people like her, he nodded toward me, in my organization. From his pocket, he removed a business card, handing it to me. Miss Sullivan, if you're interested in opening your own restaurant, I'd like to fully finance it. I stared at the card, my vision blurring with tears. I don't understand. You showed kindness to my daughter when she was invisible to everyone else, Nathan said simply. I'd like to return that kindness. The diner's entrance chimed. A small figure in a yellow jacket slipped inside, followed by an older woman who must have been her caretaker. Emily, no longer anonymous, no longer just the girl, approached me slowly. For the first time, she looked directly into my eyes. Will you still have egg sandwiches? She asked in a small but clear voice. I knelt to meet her gaze, tears flowing freely now. Every single day, if you want them. Emily smiled, a tiny fragile thing, but unmistakably real. 1 month later, E&V Mornings opened its doors 6 blocks from Waverly Diner. The Cozy Cafe, its name a combination of Emily and Vera, featured warm lighting, comfortable seating, and a special corner designated for school children. A small sign on the wall read, "No child turned away, all students welcome." I had insisted on keeping prices affordable. The restaurant's business model included a suspended meal program where customers could prepay for food that would go to someone who couldn't afford it. Emily came every morning before school, her yellow jacket now accompanied by a small apron embroidered with the cafe's logo. She didn't speak much, but she helped arrange napkins and wrote the daily specials in her improving handwriting. Sometimes Nathan joined them, sitting quietly with his laptop while Emily worked alongside me. Other times, he sent the car to pick Emily up afterward, always with a generous tip and a note of thanks. Rick had sent me a lengthy email apologizing and offering my old job back with a substantial raise. I didn't respond. Several former Waverly Diner regulars now frequented E&V Mornings instead. Martin, the elderly line cook, had joined my team, bringing his secret hash brown recipe with him. When local news caught wind of the story, reporters requested interviews. I declined most, but agreed to one brief statement. I didn't do anything extraordinary. I just refused to ignore a child who needed to be seen. The reporter pressed for more details about Nathan Fraser's involvement and the financial arrangement behind the cafe. I smiled. This isn't about money. It's about creating a space where kindness is the default, not the exception. On quiet afternoons, I sometimes caught Emily watching me with a thoughtful expression. She was slowly emerging from her shell, not in dramatic bursts, but in small, significant moments. She now greeted regular customers with nods, occasionally whispered comments to me about the pastry display, and had started keeping a journal of her own. One morning, Emily arrived with a carefully wrapped package. Inside was a framed photograph of herself, smiling tentatively, holding an egg sandwich. Beneath it, in her distinctive handwriting. Thank you for the milk when I was thirsty, and the kindness when I was hungry. I hung it behind the counter, a quiet reminder that sometimes the most important acts of kindness are the ones no one else notices. Last week, I spotted Rick through the cafe window, standing across the street, watching our busy morning service. Our eyes met briefly before he turned away. I felt no satisfaction in his discomfort, only gratitude that his public humiliation had led to this unexpected second chance. Emily tugged at my apron, then pointed to a new customer who had just walked in, a young boy, maybe 12, with worn shoes and careful eyes. Without a word, she grabbed an egg sandwich and glass of milk from the counter, and brought it to his table herself. As I watched her small act of kindness, I realized something profound. When we're publicly shamed for our compassion, we have two choices: retreat into self-protection, or double down on kindness. Emily had taught me to choose the second path, and in doing so, had helped me find not just a new career, but a purpose. The boy looked up at Emily with surprise as she sat down his breakfast. She didn't say a word, just gave him a tiny nod of understanding before returning to my side. Sometimes the quietest voices teach us the loudest lessons, about courage, about resilience, and about the unexpected ways justice eventually finds its way back to us all.